I'll try to say this slowly. Improv comedian Colin Mochrie is scared scriptless. That's the name of his show with Whose Line Is It Anyway co-star Brad Sherwood, coming to the Kodak Center Friday, August 25th. He is scriptless with us now, joining us by Zoom. Colin, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited, and we're really looking forward to this show at the Kodak Center.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what people can expect from this show on August 25th.
Well, we like to say it's a live version of Whose Line without the dead weight. And of course, I'm talking about Ryan and Wayne. I mean, they try, and that's the important thing. It's even more interactive than a TV show. Every scene starts with something from the audience. We have audience members on stage with us. It's just 2 hours of goofy fun.
So how does that work then? If people want to be part of it, do they have to sit close to the front, or do you kind of draw from wherever?
We draw from whatever. One tip is if you jump up and down and wave your hands, we will not pick you.
Oh, okay.
It seems like a recipe for disaster. We usually bring up couples. That way they have someone with them so they feel a little bit safer. And, you know, we're there to make sure they're as comfortable as possible because they're now a part of the show and we want them to help us.
So if you don't want to be picked, you should jump up and down, or if you just want to blend into the crowd?
We never bring anyone up who doesn't want to be there because we're lovely that way. We don't force people to do anything they don't want to do.
That is encouraging, Colin. That's good news there. So Whose Line Is It Anyway? Just an incredible show, 30 years, 400 episodes. Quite an accomplishment there for you. What is the difference between performing here with this kind of show and performing for Whose Line?
On Whose Line, first, let me just say we're all thankful to Whose Line for giving us all careers. Because it's on television, everything has to be fast. So we have like 2 to 4 minutes to do scenes. On stage, we can take as long as we want and really explore characters, explore the situation, or milk the cow, as we like to say. So aside from that, it's basically the same sort of thing. It's all fun. We have a great time together, but we can have a little more time just to explore what we can do with the suggestions we get.
And what's it like working with Brad in this kind of different environment?
That's all right. I mean, you know, the guy needs work, so I took pity on him 20 years ago. We have sort of a sibling relationship. I mean, we're good friends. As I said, we've done this for 20 years, so you have to have a strong relationship to go through this. And what I love about him is he'll always have my back. I always have his back. And first show we actually ever did was in Rochester at the university. So it's been a circle coming back. What
was that first show like?
I think probably panic because we really weren't sure what we had. You know, we both had long careers in improv, but we thought, okay, there's just the two of us. Will this work? And we found out yes. So I think the first show, I'm just going to remember it as being one of the greatest things that the people of Rochester ever saw. And hopefully we can recreate that.
Well, I'm confident that it'll be better than anything ever before. 20 years with this same partner. How do you kind of keep things fresh and interesting? I mean, I've been with my co-anchor for only a few months now, and you know, we try to keep everyone on the edge of their seat. What's the secret?
Well, I think a part of it is, you know, unlike a rock band, we're not doing our greatest hits every night. Every show is different. So what we're doing is fresh, and that keeps us fresh because there's no point during the show where we can go, all right, we can just kind of relax here and just kind of go through the motions. We have to be aware for the entire show. So it keeps it fresh because our relationship off and on stage is constantly being challenged. So that makes it exciting.
I'm sure. What is your favorite part of improv? I know that there are probably a million elements and everything is different, but if you had to pick one thing that you just love no matter what.
Just doing it. It's hard to explain to people the thrill of walking on stage in front of an audience who have paid money to see a show that you don't have at that particular moment. It's very exciting. And just being able to survive that. At the end of the night, it's like, well, we did it again. I'm not really sure how. I'm not going to question it. Let's just keep going.
Are you still worried of ever having dead air, not getting a laugh?
No, you'd have to ask Brad about that. He certainly has it more than I do. I mean, the beauty is when you're working with someone, even if you're not feeling on top of it, then you just support them until you sort of get your bearings again. So we've never had a problem with that. I mean, I've been improvising for over 40 years now. And at this point, it would take a lot for me just to totally fall apart on stage. I've been very fortunate in that I've been working with great people and we've been getting great suggestions. The audience energy certainly keeps you going. So I think we're okay.
So how do those suggestions work then for a show like this?
This is actually the part of the show that we work on the most because, you know, after 40 years of asking for an occupation and getting gynecologist or proctologist, you know, and yet we've never done a scene on those particular occupations because it's usually a joke answer. So we try to find ways of asking for something where the audience has to work a little bit. Like, what was your great-grandfather's occupation? What was a great job to have during the Renaissance? So we find ways of asking for something so that we get something different every night. And we don't have to recycle anything we've done before.
That is very, very cool. You've been to Rochester before, like you said, for that first show just a few years ago. What are you most looking forward to about being back in the area?
Just being back in the area. One of the great things about this show that we've done over 20 years is we've gone all around America, meeting different people, and every audience, although different, is same in a way. They're very supportive. They all know the show, so there's an excitement there. So I just love feeding off the audience.
I'm sure it's hard to compare maybe apples to oranges, but is this maybe a little more fun than doing a show like Whose Line because it's different every single time?
Absolutely. It's great in that we are the architects of our own success or of our own doom. You know, on television, you have, you know, producers, executives, but this show, it's just Brad and I. So if it works, it's because we've done great. If it doesn't, it's because we haven't been up to snuff. So I like having that responsibility.
Fantastic. All right. So just a few days until you're here in the area. After this show, what's next for you and Brad?
I think we're still touring. We have a lot of tours right now. I think we're booked up into the middle of 2024. I'm also doing another show called Improv, where I work with a hypnotist. He hypnotizes audience members, and then I improvise with them. We just opened in Vegas, so I'll be going back and forth. So, you know, at this age, I'm just happy to still be moving.
Well, Colin, aren't you tired? Aren't you ready to just kind of kick your feet up and say, all right, like, I've done a little bit, I've been a few places, or are you still ready to go?
During lockdown, it was the longest I'd been home in 20 years, and it was great to find out my wife and I still enjoy each other. We still had a lot of fun. It was also nice for me to find a balance, to go, oh, this is what it's like not to have to get up at 3 in the morning and fly somewhere. And so I really did enjoy that, and I thought, well, maybe I could slow down. I don't think I could ever fully retire, but I hope I can get more of a balance than I've had in previous years.
You have had a very early start to your career. I know you were at Second City in Toronto, I think, right? And now you're here. What would be your advice to young comedians who are considering improv, considering getting into it? What would you say to them?
Don't do it. Or I would say if you love it and there's nothing else you can do, then do it, and do it as much as you can. You find out quickly where your strong points are. You find out even more quickly where you're weak and where you need to work a little. Work with people who are better than you. Watch people who make you laugh and try to figure out what is it about them that works, and what can you maybe steal and put through your own lens to make it yours. It really is, you have to constantly work at it. There's never a point where you go, okay, I know it all. You constantly have to keep working at it.
Colin Mochrie, August 25th, 7:30, Kodak Center, Main Theater. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Break a leg. We can't wait to see the show.
Oh, thank you. Lovely talking to you.
Same here. We'll be right back.